Let me get the niceties out the way right now. Now, first of all, I do, in all sincerity, want Kevin Durant to come back from his injury. I want him to come back stronger than he was before. I'm glad that the MRI showed that this injury is not as severe as initially believed. And because nobody wants to see someone go down with an injury. At least I don't. I'm not that wicked, though I am pretty wicked. And I hope that when Durant comes back, he's able to get acclimated and able to play at that level that he was prior to the injury. Just, a minute or so into the game last night. But having said all that, man, I would be lying if I said that when I saw what happened to Durant and the circumstances surrounding it, that the first thing that didn't pop in my head was karma. Or, as Malcolm X would say, chickens coming home to roost. You look at the opponent, the Washington Wizards, the same team, that Durant chose not to sign on with during the offseason, and which he elaborated on just the day before, yesterday, I think, saying that, I don't want to deal with the pressures of home, more or less. That can be interpreted different ways. But instead of going to his hometown and playing with a team, I think had he joined the Wizards, everybody outside of OKC would have had a problem with that. The Wizards have had they've been a losing franchise for quite a while, okay? They won a championship in 1978, the only championship they have in their franchise history, all right? I think if I'm not mistaken, they've only been to the postseason prior to, last year? Or the year before. I know they went to the playoffs last year. But prior to recent events, that team had only been to the postseason twice in the last 28 years. Or 26 years or something like that. Because I know they've been to the playoffs recently. But this is a team that is finally on the rise. Because if I was Kevin Durant, I would have signed with Washington. Because this is a team that used to have a strong tradition in the 1970s and early 1980s. This was one of the better ball clubs in the NBA in the 1970s. They went to the finals 2 consecutive years, 78, 79. This was the team with Bob Dandridge and Phil Chenier and the great Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld. All right. And even in the 80s, they were still a pretty good ball club. But he could have joined that team, but he didn't want to deal with the pressures of home. He could have made that team an instant contender in the East against LeBron James. But he wanted to deal with the pressure. He wanted to go to Golden State where things would have been so much easier. So much easier for him. So it's fate that he goes down against that very club that he denied. And then the man who injured him, Zaza Pachulia, Mr. Tough Guy now. Well, he was, that's the same guy that took down Russell Westbrook. Well, this time he took down Kevin Durant. So this is karma to me, man. Now, they're saying that Durant's going to be out at least 4 weeks. So he could, at best, come back early April or right before the postseason. As opposed to before, they were saying there was a possibility he might miss the entire season, even including playoffs. Um, I remember I had an injury when I was 20 years old. I was at work, and I remember I was walking, and my leg locked. It like for instance, I think I was sitting down. I had been working, all day, and I remember I was sitting down, and when I got up, I remember I was in standing position, but for some reason my leg would not fucking bend. I think it was my right leg. It wouldn't bend, and I couldn't really put pressure on it. And I remember I had to leave work, and I had to go home, pretty much hopping on one leg, looking like a fucking idiot. But I remember the very next day, I just sat down, I laid down in bed, I kept that leg sort of extended, and I remember putting ice on it, whatever. But the very next day, my leg felt better. So I was thinking, when I saw hyperextended left knee, I'm thinking, okay, well, that's not that serious. He might be out for a couple of days, but apparently it was a little bit more serious with him. But to make adjustments, instead of them signing Jose Calderon, the Warriors are signing Matt Barnes, who of course was waived by the Kings during the aftermath of the DeMarcus Cousins trade. And Matt Barnes, at his prime, was a fine player, but he was no Kevin Durant. So now it's on to the big three remaining, or the 2.5, because I don't consider Draymond a big whatever. It's up to the 2.5 to step up. I know Klay's going to do it, because Klay has the mentality that I like, Stephen is hit or miss, man, but I think Stephen's going to step up. Draymond is another story. Draymond is a big mouth guy, man, but he needs to start letting his game talk for him. And I'm going to get on his ass, too, because he disrespected Paul Pierce yet again. I'm going to have to eat to his donkey ass in a video coming up. Okay? He keeps fucking with Paul Pierce. But, I'm going to put a stop to that personally, because I think the motherfucker watches my videos. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people watch my videos, to be honest with you. But anyway, or somebody has directed him to come my videos, because I'll get into that later on in another video, but this is a potentially serious injury, man, for the Warriors. Of course it's a serious injury, but the repercussions and the consequences. I think there's a small possibility, man, if the Spurs really play well during the stretch of the season, they could potentially catch Golden State as far as having the best record in the NBA. They could. Right now they're 4 games behind. Now if they were like 8 games behind, I'm like, nah, I don't really think they're going to be able to do it. But 4 games behind with 26, 7 games remaining, whatever, they could do it. It's possible. But tell what you guys think, man. Do you think that this injury affects the Warriors overall as far as in their quest for winning an NBA championship? Do you see the karma thing? You know what I mean? A lot of people feel like, Durant was trying to get a cheap ring. And if this injury is what stops him from getting the ring, I mean, I don't mind, man. I mean, I don't know what else to put it other than karma. But tell me what you guys think, man.